show everything on here. There we go. See who we got on here. We got three people on here already. We're just starting out. That's good. But I just got back a little while ago from up in Manila. I did a trip up to Manila, and I was up in the Conrad building, and we went to Red Lobster, and the waitress there told me that they're closing because of lack of customers there. So it's kind of interesting. But let's see if we can get some people talking on here. So we got 2 people. We'll get some more on here pretty soon. How you doing, Ben? Welcome on here. Let's see. All messages. Okay, we're good. Hey, Michael, how you doing? So, Ben, you're like a new person on here. Let's see, we got 6 people on here. Who else we got on here? And you guys can shoot any questions you want tonight. We'll talk about anything on here. So, you guys know that. Let's see. Let me get this. See, Ben says, supermarket food clean. Why does everyone seem to get food poisoning? I don't think it's the supermarkets, although, when I first walked into SM Ben here, it had a really bad odor in the meat department. It was really horrible. Since then, they've gotten rid of it. I think it's mostly because of lack of just taking care of things like it's in street foods and people not washing their hands and stuff, Let's see. Franz says, greetings from Switzerland. How you doing, Franz? Yeah, that is definitely a problem here, though. I actually take Imodium D every morning. That way I don't worry about food poisoning too much, but it's not good to do that. See, Gurkha9 says, good evening, Steve. How you doing, Gurkha? What's going on? Maso on board, too. We got Randy. See, Michael Palat. Been watching, subscribed for over a year. Just quiet person. Well, thanks for joining us, Mike. Let's see, it's good to have you on here. We're seeing some new faces on here. This is good. See, we're up to about 18. We got Smoky Mountain Model, one of the regulars, one of the biggest regulars. And Wade76. How you doing, Wade? Let's see. Punishers is on here. DD214 has to be apostled by federal or can state. Usually that's federal, but what's funny is some states are apostling it, okay? So just FYI on that, Punishers. It can go either way because the 50 states have different rules. But I would just send it into the State Department. Be easier, rather than have it sent back or anything like that, okay? Just FYI, okay? They're the ones who are supposed to do it. Anything federal should go off to federal, okay? Ben Webb, let's see. Okay, food cleanliness might be the reason I might not go. Most of the restaurants here, though, are pretty decent. It's just, I don't go to, like, a lot of the Filipino restaurants. I go to the American restaurants because they have, they train their help usually. They're supposed to. I mean, I've gotten sick at Burger King over here before. Not just once, but twice. And one time led me going to the hospital. And it's usually when there's lettuce in the food is when you get sick. And another time, I almost got sick from McDonald's. And what they did was they made me a sandwich and they put lettuce and tomato in it, like one of those special cheeseburgers. It's like a normal cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, and onions and stuff like that. And it looked good up on the menu, but they threw it in a microwave and nuked it. So all the lettuce and tomato was like all soggy and hot in there. And I brought it back and I says, it looks like somebody put this in the microwave. And the guy says, yeah, we do. I says, why do you do that? I says, you're not supposed to do that. And he goes, oh, okay. You want me to make you another one? He made me another one. But it would have been an awful sandwich. You probably would have got sick off it because it tasted terrible. See, Apex says, hi there. My new girlfriend makes it difficult for me. She has a sick uncle where she lives, and all my money to her goes for medicine or hospital. Steve, really, Philippines truly miserable? I can't even start. I don't think it's miserable here, but I mean, if you're getting in a relationship where they're just taking care of sick people and stuff like that, you might be better off moving on because all the money then is just going to be drained from you when you get over there because they're going to be looking for you for money when they get sick and stuff like that. And, I had that talk with my girlfriend long in advance, and something, once in a while I'll help out and stuff like that. I have the ability to do that sometimes, but she rarely ever asks me, so I don't have that problem. Find a decent girl, that's not going to hit you up for all kinds of money and stuff. So, let's see. We got Brian Nakamura. Okay, how you doing, Steve? Subscriber here from Central Coast of California. How you doing, Brian? We actually have a couple of Japanese people on here. I would take it that your name is Japanese, right? We have a couple of Japanese followers on here, which is kind of cool. So, but we're doing great here. We actually have a lot of people from California too, and Las Vegas. Willie White says, "Good day, Smoky Mountain Water." Steve, any local brands for Imodium? Yes, there are. There are. I just ask for Imodium and they give me something. It might be a different name. They know what I'm talking about when I walk into Watson's or Mercury, and they just hand it to me, and it's Imodium, So, but yeah, they know what Imodium is. They have local brands, yes, and it's fairly cheap. I put it in my pill box every day, in the morning one. I have I'll show you one of these, okay, and I put one in the morning, and it works. Brooke Snyder's aboard. Good evening, Steve-O from Stratford, Ontario. How you doing, Brooke? That was great seeing your girlfriend the other day. I thought that was cute. That was funny. Apex 512. I can't even start her on a diploma course because of the way she lives. I mean, they have food from her there. Sorry, sir, but that's it. Yeah, sometimes some of these girls, man, they're really tough. I tell people, Apex, that if you're gonna find a girl over here, and we don't do too much of the dating talk on here. Sometimes we do talk about it a little bit. I tell people, wait till you get your feet on the ground over here. We've got two people coming over here right now, and they're going to live right down the street from me. And I've told them, just wait till you get here. It's probably better because you're going to find a girl. You're going to get to actually meet her and see her. And you'll meet a lot of people here, a lot of really good girls too. And in my town, actually, we have a lot of people. In my place, it's really cheap to live too, which is kind of cool. Let's see, we got Kim here. Good evening, Steve. How you doing, Kim? Ben Webb says, I always cook my own food. That's the way to do it, Ben. If you can get steaks over here. I just went out to eat today. Okay, I went to Red Lobster at Mall of Asia, and once in a while I go up there. I just find the cheapest way to go there, and I go there and I sit down and have a good meal. And I don't worry about anything from the Conrad building because they're really clean there. So it's good to live around Manila and go to some places like American food places, and it's safe. But unfortunately, Red Lobster is closing as of Friday, so that's the end of that. But they have all kinds of other restaurants there. They have Texas Roadhouse. They have Outback right down the street. So they have all kinds of places there. TGI Fridays, all that. Joe Porter says, "Buddy, I didn't get your email. I was asking for a checklist for preparing to come over." Yeah, Joe. Let's see. I think I remember that email. I thought I emailed you back. Mary Rose has the checklist for that. Okay, if you ask her for the checklist, just ask me for Mary Rose's email information. Send me an email tomorrow, and I'll get to that. Okay. If it didn't get to you, I remember sending back something. Maybe it didn't go out or whatever. But I swear I emailed you because I usually answer everybody. But sometimes I do miss a few. But I remember answering somebody about preparing a checklist or whatever. You can also call me, Joe. That's another thing. Get my phone number. I'll walk you through once you talk to Mary Rose and you get the list. I'll walk you through all that stuff. That's what we do here. Okay. I mean, I don't want to write an email back with all that stuff because there's a lot of stuff to write in an email. And if I did that all day for everybody, that's why I tell people it's easier for you to call me because it's not just a checklist. There's a lot more to it than just a checklist. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, I'd rather just talk to you on the phone and spend a half an hour, even if I have to spend an hour with you on the phone, that's fine. But Joe, email me today, okay? Send me an email and ask me for my phone number and ask me for Mary Rose's information. I'll tell you what to write to Mary Rose when you talk to me on the phone. But give me a call tomorrow between 4 and 9 at night, okay? and I'll talk to you. I'll get you all going. But just remember, if you call me and I don't answer, I'm not ignoring you. It's just that I'm on another phone call. Just call back like a half an hour later. You'll probably get me. Okay. So we'll talk soon. You can also once you get me once you get my phone number, you can also text me on that too. Okay. Just let me know that you're gonna call or whatever. All right. But we'll talk soon. All right. Jeff M says, "Can you live okay on 2,500 a month in the Philippines?" Jeff, you can live phenomenal on 2,500 a month. That's the sweet spot budget. I did a video on it a while back about the sweet spot budget. It's between 2,000 and 3,000. That's the perfect spot to be. Okay, so that's a good spot. Martin Harvey says, "Afternoon from London. Watch out for the ice and small food outlets or the provinces, if made from tap water." Yeah, most of the places here, the ice companies, they're pretty safe because they put filters and they change the filters. It's the ones that don't change the filters. You know, McDonald's pretty much changes their filters. If they don't, you want to look for newer McDonald's because if they forget, then you're kind of doomed. But yeah, it's the ice. The ice can be a problem. Although I've never gotten sick from drinking Coca-Cola here. Never. And I'm a Coca-Cola fan. I was actually just watching a story on YouTube about Mexicans drinking Coca-Cola and how they're all dying of like diabetes and everything down there. So I gotta really watch out for that stuff. Let's see. Luck Albert, hey Steve, are there direct flights from Bangkok or HMC to Manila? Well, Luck, here's the story. Okay, I have a friend of mine right now. He's in Thailand, and he's trying to get here, and he can't get here till like the 24th. So that's the story of that, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to get direct flights right now because they're all filled up because everybody wants to come here. And I don't know how they're getting filled up, but they're getting filled up, okay? Because I guess a lot of people are getting either the 13As or they're coming in here on 13As or they're coming in here as overseas foreign workers coming home. And also we got the SRV applicants now coming in, okay? So there's a lot of people coming in here. Driftwood Smitty Asia says, "Hey Steve from steamy Louisiana." Louisiana is not the only steamy place. I'll tell you, I walk down the street and my clothes are soaking wet just from 5 minutes outside here. The past few days, it's been really, really sticky and humid, So it's been pretty rough. Mark O'Hare says, "Good morning, Chicago, checking in, Steve." Thanks, Mark. Let's see, Jeff M. The girls I talk to on the internet all want money. Yeah, you're better off coming over here, and talk to people one-on-one. There's even with people here, even amongst Filipinos, there's a joke about money and expats. Okay, find a real girl that like you meet at a church or something like that, or walking around or at a mall or something like that. That isn't going to hit you up for money all the time. It's kind of like a going joke around here, though. But if you find a good girl, they're still going to joke about it, but it's just usually joking. But there are some girls that have heard that joke and they kind of take it into their head because there's usually some truth behind those jokes. So just FYI. Michael Paulette says, "Does your Pacific Cross cover any portion of your prescription drug costs? I have few meds that are crazy expensive to buy there. The most expensive one I have is Jardiance, which is $1,200 for 90 days. Here's the thing, Michael. They do have a prescription drug plan, but it's kind of limited. If you want to get a better plan than Pacific Cross, and that's what it sounds like you need, okay, because I don't know if they have any generic drugs for the one that you have, okay? But if you want to look into a company called Pacific Prime, okay, they'll give you 10 different quotes, okay, and go through them, but they're gonna look at your pre-existing conditions, just like Pacific Cross is. And Pacific Cross, you have to wait 1 year before they'll start giving you regular coverage. Like they'll give you accidental, and if you get a virus or something like that, they'll cover that. But any pre-existing conditions is what they're looking for. So if you don't put it down on there, and you go to put in, during that year, they're not going to cover it. So just FYI. But Pacific Prime has companies that will cover you immediately. But you need to tell them again about pre-existing conditions. So, and they'll find out some way or another. Somehow they have a way to find out. I mean, the internet has everything out there, so just be aware of that. But Yeah, call Pacific Prime. Pacific Prime is not related to Pacific Cross, okay? And they're actually out of China, but there's a lot of American people that work over there. But it's keep in mind, it's kind of like a clearinghouse for insurances, for expat insurances. See, Kevin Smith says, "Hey, hello from Ireland. How you doing, Kevin? Welcome aboard." Let's see. Randy S says, "Can you explain a dual split inverter AC?" Okay. A dual split means that it has two ACs in the house, one for each room. And the inverter is the part that keeps it turning on and off to keep it from running all the time. So the compressor shuts off when it reaches temperature and stuff like that. It's actually kind of easy to understand, okay? But yeah, you can have one, like the ones you see like in a hotel or whatever, up on the wall, high towards the ceiling. There'll be one in one room and one on the other. So they run the stuff. They have the thing outside, but it goes to those two. So it'll do two rooms basically. That's the dual split. Okay. See, Jeff M. Good suggestion. Let's see. This just in case studies and travel. I enjoyed your interview with Jay. He makes me laugh. Very nice of you to offer to help him. Jay's a nice guy. I like Jay. I haven't been able to. I don't really watch other people, but Jay asks me, and I usually don't do that. But Jay seems like a really, really good guy. He's a down to earth guy, and I just wanted to help him out with that. I like Jay. I unfortunately I don't have the time to watch other vloggers, and I don't watch vloggers sometimes because of the fact that I don't want to get contaminated with what's out there with what they're covering. I try to come up with my own ideas, and this kind of forces me to come up with my own ideas. If I don't know what's going on out there, I'm better off. So I try to cover everything, news over here, things like that, but I know they cover different stuff, and I just try to stay off that. That's why sometimes we do oddball subjects, but it's kind of fun covering those too, and the people do enjoy them. We're fortunate now. I could probably get more people if I brought girls out in bikinis and stuff like that, but that's not what this channel is about. You guys all know that anyway. Ben Webb, the Philippine Info Channel. Do you know if other Southeast Asian countries have more clean food? I don't even know if it's not about clean food. I think it's more about clean water. Because it's the water here when they wash the food and stuff like that. I think that's what it is, Ben. So like some towns, like Tracy Martinez, I don't think we don't have too much foodborne illness here because I think our water system's pretty good. Some of the people drink the water here, but I don't, but it's all about, water, the handling, people washing their hands, things like that. I think the more educated the town you go to and more upper class, like BGC, something like that, like in some of the higher class sections of Manila, you're going to get better food. Okay, so that's what it's all about. You go to certain supermarkets, you're going to get better food. So I would just shop different supermarkets, Ben, and go to more high-class restaurants than street food and things like that. That'll help you out from getting sick. I wouldn't worry too much about that. The first 6 months you get kind of sick, and then after you just kind of build an immunity to it. See, Hillbilly in the Philippines. Hello, all. Luck Albert says, Ben, best thing to do is if you are looking at street food is to watch if they are busy. If so, it will be likely be safe. Most grocery stores are no problem. The thing with street food, if it's cooked really good, then you can probably eat it. Like if it's meat or beef or pork or something like that and it's on a stick and it's cooked really good, you can probably eat it. I just don't eat street food. I'm always afraid where it comes from. Let's see, Hillbilly in the Philippines. I live on 1K. Yeah, there's people that do. There's people that live on less than that. It's possible. I was actually thinking about taking a challenge one time just to see what's the lowest I could live on and just do it, and just do it and see if I could do it and then just try to prove it. Because I know you can. The people next door, they live on it, so I know I could do it. And it would just mean changing my diet, slowing down on certain things like that. But yeah, living on 1K is totally possible, even with a girlfriend, But it might mean no insurance, no health insurance. See, I have health insurance in my budget, and I also have life insurance too. So that kind of changes it up a little bit. Let's see. Sperlin Edwards. Hello from Connecticut. Excellent help on the phone the other day. You answered all my questions. Sperlin, I think you wanted to get in touch with me tonight, right? Was that you that was calling me, trying to call me tonight? I think it was you anyway. But if you need to call me, give me a call tomorrow night if you have any more questions. Okay, and I can help you out because I think it was you, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I had so many people bombing me with phone calls today. Let's see, Ben Webb at Luck Albert. My issue is if the supermarket food is clean, I cook all my food. Ben, there's a place here called All Day. It's like a Western market. They're super, super clean in my area. So if you're looking for a place where you can find clean and good places to grab food, Tracy Martires has a lot of places. In fact, if you ever moved here, I could direct you in a lot of different ways to help you out with that. So if you ever want to come here, let me know. Send me an email. We can talk on the phone. Just ask me for my phone number. We can chat or whatever. I'll help you get ready. I'll tell you where to go around here too. You know, like where to move and live cheap. $80 apartments. You see the apartments that I'm showing on here, and they're beautiful apartments. They might be small, but they're beautiful little apartments. Michael Pilot, Jardiance is available at Watson's for 55 PHP for a 10 mg pill. Yes, everything is sold by small units here in the Philippines. So there you go, man. That's not that bad. Mike, thanks for looking that up for him. I appreciate that. Yeah, by the way, guys, Watson's, a Mercury drug, usually has everything on their site, and you can get the prices, or you can email them and ask them if it doesn't show it on there. Because I've had a lot of questions about prescriptions, so I looked into that. Driftwood Smitty Asia says, "Hi Steve, got my stuff apostilled endorsement except the medical evaluation. I want to wait and get in country. Can I ask for the entry exemption and 9(8) on the military courtesy?" Let's see. I wanted to wait and get in country. Can I ask for? I mean, if you got all your stuff ready, I mean, I'd like you to call me on this one, Smitty, because send me an email and I'll give you my phone number. We can talk about this. This is like a lot of people. There's a lot more to this than what people think. I kind of went through it a little bit the other day. I'm not sure where you are at and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to answer this question, like what you're saying. But yeah, you can. I can get you. I can get you into the country. Sure. You know, I can get you started on that, and you can be in here in like 2.5, 3 months, really quick. If you got all your stuff ready, man, I can get you in there probably quicker than that with Mary Rose. Do me a favor, send me an email at Steven5975 and say, "Hey Steve, can you send your phone number to me so I can call you? I'll give you my U.S. number. Calls me on Magic Jack, and you can call me, and we'll have a good talk. Okay, we'll talk for about a half an hour, whatever you need to you. I have all your questions answered. Okay, and ask me for Mary Rose's information too. Okay, I'll give you both. All right, and we'll get you started. Okay, we can definitely get you in. Don't worry about that. I got people coming in now. I got people coming in next week and on the 24th, and I had some people coming last week too, I think. Francisco Fleta says, "Hello, how you doing, Francisco?" James Corlo, "Hello, Steve. 82 days left to retirement. Pork shoulder in the smoker. Life is good." There we go, man. That's the way to be. Luck Albert, "I spent over a year in Thailand and Cambodia. Never got sick from food. I ate a ton of street food. I was probably pretty lucky." You know, it's not that it's street food. It's whether it's undercooked. That's the thing. Or if it sits there too long. If people are at a street food place and they're cycling through that food, they're constantly cooking fresh food. So, you know what I mean? If it's sitting there and nobody's touching it, that's when you got to worry about it. So, Kevin Workman says, "Good evening, Steve. Optimism abound. Getting excited for the move. Great job on your channel. Take care, brother." Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff here on positivity. A lot of people, you know, they watch it. Some people don't or anything. But I like to have people coming into this country that are going to be positive and stuff like that and help other people. And I always tell people, you know, like the reason why I don't charge or ask for anything, I just tell people, if I help you, just pay it forward to other people, you know, just bless them, you know. That's the way I'd like to kind of change like the way people think about expats over here. You know, it's kind of cool. Rick Rambles, "Church, LOL. I'm not saying church is perfect to find a girl, man. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying You can the church I'm at. Actually, there's a lot of decent girls in there that would make and they're not out for you just your money. They're decent people there too. There's a lot to be said for finding a decent girl in a church, but I'm not saying it's the perfect place by no means. It depends what kind of church you go to too. So some churches are good, some aren't. Let's see. Steve, it's Luke, just the French spelling. Haha. Okay. All right, Luke. I'll try to remember that. Let's see. Dickie Spaz is on here. Steve, you see Elon Musk is moving Tesla headquarters from Cali to Texas. I did see that. There was a reason behind that too. He hates California politics. He does not like California at all. Mike and Mauricio, let's see. When you brush your teeth, do you use tap water or rinse your mouth or bottled water? I actually just use the tap water. I don't get sick. But you have to remember that when you brush your teeth, that if you use the right toothpaste, it also has mouthwash, so it kills all the germs as soon as it goes in your mouth. So you're not going to get sick. And I flick my toothbrush afterwards to get all the water off. It's not totally dry, so if there is germs in there, but I use mouthwash toothpaste too. And I also use like the fluoride rinse, which has mouthwash, so it just kills anything in there anyway. So, KM, would it be better to get an SRRV or wait to come in as a tourist in a couple of months? Seems like things are loosening up and it may be faster to just come in as a tourist. Not a sure thing. Well, KM, I'm going to answer that in the best way possible. I tried talking about this the other day a little bit in the video. I think that when they do open up for tourists, it's not going to be what people are waiting for. It's going to be some sort of sandbox thing where you're allowed to go to certain areas because the people that live in those areas are vaccinated. So that's what's going to happen. So it's not going to be like it was before where you can go anywhere in the Philippines and stuff like that. That's not going to happen, okay? So let's see. We got 76 people, 24 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. So just be aware of that. I don't think we're going to open up fully for regular people like it was before. Maybe till like March or something. I'm hoping. It could happen. We'll see because nobody really knows what's going to happen. But I think it's going to be some sort of sandbox thing, at least for a month or two. And then things will start happening. But we'll see. I think we're going to start hearing something soon because they're showing ads and stuff. Even on some of my vlogs, they've showed some ads. People have been telling me for Philippine resorts. So something's happening. There's something going on up above, but it's not coming out. So we'll see what happens. But I've seen those ads myself. Let's see. Michael Polat says, thanks for the information, coming over to see if living in my LDR 12 years will work when living together long term. First trip, a few months, and I can bring that much supply of meds with me. There we go, Michael. Gang Dang Mars TV. Hi, Steve. Brooke's girlfriend. Are you enrolling at the gym also? It's a good gym. It is a good gym, but I just don't have much time to go there, unfortunately. I've been so busy lately. I like to go over there. I just went over there because Daz is my friend. Both of them are my friends. I consider them really, really good friends, and I try to support them as much as I can. I actually did a video on them, too. We're talking about Titan Gym, guys, for you guys that don't know what she's talking about. But I just want to let you know, yeah, I probably I actually enrolled there, and I just haven't been able to get back there. And as soon as things slow down, I'll probably go back there and start paying my monthly dues to get it started again. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I will go back there sooner or later. I just don't have the time, right now. I barely have 5 minutes to myself because I got two guys I'm helping out, and I'm working to help them out and everything. So I want to get their house set up for them. One guy's probably going to be here in about 3 weeks, I think. So we'll see what happens. Actually, next time you see me walk in there, come up and talk to me. We'll talk for a while. And we could talk about the air conditioning guy too. That guy's a good guy. He's been helping me out a lot. Let's see. John Bihana. Hi, Steve. Thanks for Mary Rose's email. It's Mary Rose, actually. She got with me. I'll be going to my pension office this week. I'm looking forward to starting the process. John, if you have any questions, remember, you can always call me. So just shoot me an email and I'll give you my number. I think I gave you my number already. But you can call me anytime you need to call me. But call me in the evening, my time, okay? Lee A, KM, that's what I've been wondering. Let's see. David Austin, is Copenhagen snuff available there? I've never seen it. I'm sure you could probably get it maybe on Lazada or something like that. They sell everything on there. You'd be amazed. John C says, yes, it's definitely the cleanliness of the water. Not just the PI, but other countries, Southeast Asia. I never worried about the food, but the water, yes. I mean, we take showers and you get water in your mouth a little bit and stuff like that. I never get sick from the water here. But, I mean, you could put filtration things on even on the shower things if you want, or heat it up or whatever and do stuff like that, and it'll kill all the germs. But I don't think I've ever gotten sick from the tap water here. It's more so, like I said, from foods. KM, are churches that there are churches that have English services near you? It's kind of like half and half, but I understand what they're saying. It's kind of weird because they show everything up on a thing in front of the church, and it's usually in English. So it's kind of like half and half. The pastor speaks in English a lot. Is it possible to get a teaching job in the Philippines? I don't need money financially. I'm good, but at 51, it's a little early to retire. Yes, but if you came in on the SRRV, you're actually able to work here, C3, but you wouldn't get paid a lot. It's like $400 or $500 a month or something. So let's see. Hillbilly in the Philippines. She a nurse on SSDI. We both have income and a house. Let's see. That's good. See, Sperlin says, no, that wasn't me, but I'm putting more questions together. Yeah, don't worry about Sperlin. Whenever you get them together or whatever. I thought it was you for some reason. Maybe the name was similar or something like that. But yeah, whenever you're ready, let me know. I'll answer all your questions. You know that. Francisco Fleta says, we have great food here in BGC. Yeah, BGC is good. So isn't Mall of Asia for food. I don't think you'll get sick in any of those places because I've seen the kitchens in those places and they're pretty clean. And the people that they have in there, they're decent and they're clean people. I mean, I've seen other restaurants where the people that work there are kind of questionable. And McDonald's, sometimes I've seen some of the people that are questionable. The people might come from a squatters area, and they might not have the same cleanliness habits that other people have, and that's what concerns me, because I've seen people that come from the squatters areas, and they go into those places, and they don't have the facilities to clean at home. So what makes you think that they're going to clean at work? So it's just part of life here in the Philippines, unfortunately. So, Hillbilly in the Philippines is an Army vet. Get free clinic in Manila. It's Hillbilly in the Philippines. It's only for service connected at the VA clinic in Manila. Only for service connected. That's it. Nothing more. I just want to make sure you're available. You understand that. So just to be clear, because a lot of people think that they can come here and get treated for anything. No, it's just service connections. Some people think that if they're 100%, that means they can get treated over here for everything. No, it's still only service connections. So but there's a lot of people that have that idea that they can. But also remember, it's only a clinic too. So if it's like really major medical care, they won't do it there. See, Rick Rambles, how much is Niagara? I think you mean Viagra. I think it's about $5 a pill or something like that. It falls under like Cialis or whatever. It's the same thing, or Sildenafil. I want to say it's cheaper than Viagra per pill, but I want to say it's like $5 a pill. Okay, Rick? But don't quote me on that. What some of the guys do over here is they cut the pills in half to save the money. They get the large pills and they cut them in half, and then it's only $2.50. So that's what's going on over here with that. KM, is it true that they lowered the time you need to be in quarantine? If yes, is it at every entry point? I believe it is. They lowered it to 5 days. I'm not sure if they already went into that or not, but yeah, they said they were changing to 5 days. I'm not sure if that's for everybody or if it's just for people that are vaccinated. If you're unvaccinated, it might be more, but I'm not sure. I posted something on it, and I didn't read too much about it. I just read about the 5 days. So I think it's 5 days if you're vaccinated. Okay, but like I said, it could be more if you're not vaccinated. Ben Webb says C3 making YouTube channels seem to be what most expats do. Um, you know, I was actually talking. I did a video today down at Mall of Asia along the boardwalk there, and you guys are gonna. If you guys see this up tomorrow, I'll try to put it up with the next day. I did 2 videos down there, and I saw this awesome jeepney down there, and it gave me a great idea for some expat. You know how they're van lifers in the United States. This would be a great idea for an expat, for some expat, or even a Filipino, is to do a jeepney lifer, a guy that turns a jeepney into like almost like a van, and maybe travel in it, maybe not live in it, but travel in it, and call it Jeepney Lifer or something like that, or whatever. It'd be a great expat channel for somebody that wanted to do it. Even if you went out on like a trip once a week or something like that, it'd be a pretty cool thing. Put an AC in there and all that. Maybe put a generator on the roof and the AC. I'm telling you, you'd get some killer subscribers on something like that. That'd be you want to make some money? There you go. There's the idea of the century over here. Because the van lifers make killer money. See, Prairie Mark's on here. Someone who owed me money since 2012 paid me. So I said I would pay breakfast for everyone in the cafe, but only 2 people came. They added them up and said 70 pesos, feeling generous on a budget. That's funny. Smoky Mountain Model says, Steve, what was the name of the boat you served on? I served on the USS James K. Polk and the Woodrow Wilson. Both those boats I served on. So let's see. Craig Jordan, Smoky Mountain Modeler. Good morning, sir. How you doing, Craig? Devin Darringer says, would you recommend staying around the Manila area for a mid-20s person looking to learn Tagalog? Let's see. Would you recommend staying around the Manila area for a mid-20s person looking to learn Tagalog? I'm not sure what you're asking, Devin. I think you're asking to try to find you somebody that, maybe I'm misreading that or something. If you're looking for something, if you're looking to learn Tagalog, you really don't need to learn Tagalog over here in the Philippines. Everybody speaks English. You know, if you want to learn Tagalog, I mean, it's pretty easy to learn it if you really put the effort in, I guess. There's courses online you can take for fairly cheap too, but you could learn if you just stay here and just start trying to talk Tagalog all the time, you know, as much as you can, and just tell your girlfriend just to talk to you in Tagalog, and then try learning that way. That's the best way. Immersion is like the best way to learn. So Chris Taylor says, I feel sorry for lots of Philippines people. Not many in the provinces have had vaccines, very different to the Western countries. Yes, that's a problem over here. But they're getting out to those people now, and they're starting to reach out. Those people are the hardest to reach, though, you know. Let's see. My thing just switched. Let's see. Hold on a second, guys. I got to go back now. Let's see. All right, I'm back. Apex 512. Steve, it's really sad because she looks stunning. We already rebonded her hair and she walks in my clothes. There you go. Francisco Fletas, I came in on the tourist visa and I converted to the SRV 2 months into my stay. It was very hard because I had to do everything from inside the Philippines. Getting police report in apostles was hard. I'm sure it was. You know, I'm sure it was. People do it though. People have done it. Karsten Madsen says, message retracted, so I don't know what that was. Wong Hung Lo says, do roosters shut up at night? Yes, they do. But occasionally you get one that's been cockfighting too long, and they're a little bit messed up in the head, and they'll start cock-a-doodle-dooing at night sometimes in the middle of the night. And there's a lot of roosters around here because people raise them for cockfights. And some people, all around me now, they're getting cocks for cockfights, but I'm not close enough to them that they bother me. And I thank God that nobody around me gets into that stuff that much. I have a lot of good people around me. And I got the mayor on one side, so that kind of helps with the mayor. She's got a few roosters, and they come through here once in a while because she lets them run loose. So, Smoky Mountain Model says, hello, Craig Jordan. Glad you made it. Chinoy says, good evening and good morning to you all, especially to you, Steve. Thanks, Chinoy. Gonchi Leo says, my English lesson, please don't speak too fast. I can't catch up. Okay, I'll try to slow down. Must be the Coca-Cola, caffeine in the Coca-Cola. That's what it is. Edward, hi from Spain. How you doing, Edward? This just in case studies and travel. Have you seen any job postings targeting foreigners? No. No, I have not. Let's see. Craig Jordan says, Governor Newsom felt us Californians desperately needed an anti-stealthing state law this week. There we go. Let's see. Karsten Madsen says, hi, my stepdaughter died of dengue 1.5 months ago. I'm here in Denmark and I can't go and support my girlfriend. It did give me a smile to watch your channel. Thank you for that, Steve. You're welcome, Karsten. Sorry about your stepdaughter, man. That's rough. But I'm glad I gave you a smile. That's good. That's a good thing. Let's see, this next one. Zinsli 1, I think I pronounced it right. Is it a hassle to get your $20,000 bank deposit back if you decide to leave? It takes a little while, but no, it's not really a hassle. It just takes a little while, and you have to, like with anything over in the Philippines. But yeah, you can get it back when you decide to leave. It's not a big issue. I actually talked to Mary Rose about that a long time ago. I don't remember how long it takes, but it takes a little while, but you get it back. They don't keep that, so don't worry about that part. You're not going to lose that or anything, okay? So just FYI. Good evening, Steve from Leicester, England, UK. That's Stephen Shore. Let's see. Carl Graham. How is it for girls getting out of PI? I think you're asking it to take them home or whatever. I mean, you can get them out on a marriage visa or a fiancé visa, but that's really slow going right now, okay? If that's what you're asking. Let's see. Joe Porter says, can you post your phone number? Joe, I don't put it out like that. I mean, if you ask me on my email is Steven with a V and then 5975 at yahoo.com. I'll say it again. Steven and then 5975 at yahoo.com. Okay, and then just ask me for my phone number. I'll give it to you. I don't want to put it out here. I just give it to people through emails because I just don't want it all over the place. Okay, and then having people call me all the time. So let's see. Jim Lewis says, hello. How you doing, Jim? Welcome aboard. Let's see. With 97 people, 38 thumbs up. Willie White. How you doing, Willie? My understanding that the SRRV can only be completed in the Philippines. You can start it before you have boots on the ground. You can start the process, but it has to be completed in the Philippines. Yes, I did a video about that too, because there's a misunderstanding amongst the other people, because some people are putting some false information out there that it can be completed from outside the U.S. No, you can only complete it in the Philippines. You have to be here, okay? That's just the way it is. You can't be, you can start filling out the paperwork and stuff in the United States, and you're going to have to do the EED to get the 9A, which is a tourist visa. And then once you get the 9A visa, then you come to the Philippines and complete the process for the SRRV. That's the way it works. But there's a lot of processing to do in the United States or whatever country you're in, okay? Just FYI. Any country that you're in, if you're doing the SRRV, there's a lot to that process, okay? Let's see. Don Murphy says, good morning, Steve, from Vancouver, Canada. I like your info, obviously. As far as paying it forward, I met a lady online. She has no work, and her family has some problems. I send money, help, God bless. Yeah, even stuff like that, man. But don't get too caught up with, unless you know for sure it's not a scam, Don. Be careful, okay? When I say pay it forward over here when you see people that need help. Or pay it forward to help other expats too, in need, and to become better people. Because we get a lot of expats over here, and some of the older crowd that's been here for a while, most of them are decent people, but there's like that 10% I worry about. And hopefully we can change that, because I want expats to have a better name over here. then because I've seen a lot of expats. When I first got over here, you've seen a lot of jerks that were up in Manila, and they're all gone now. Most of them, they've left for whatever reason. I think most of them were on the tourist visas. But I'm hoping that the people that come in are a better crowd. You know what I'm saying? And they just don't reflect bad on us expats that are here, because that's what was happening before. So that's what I want to happen. Let's see. Do people burn? KM says, do people burn garbage near you? I've lived in different places throughout the world, and that's an ongoing problem. KM, that happens everywhere in the Philippines, and also in even in the U.S. But it's funny that you talk about that, because when I was over one of the apartments the other day, there was a guy burning trash there behind, and we were putting some stuff over there, curtains up and stuff like that, and he smoked me out of the apartment. And I talked to the landlord, and I think I'm gonna have to end up talking to the guy before this other guy moves in there. It's not a major problem. I don't think he burns it all the time, but he probably burns it like once a week or something like that. But it is kind of like a problem, and that place is heavily crowded, so I'm sure it's more than just the people that are moving over there are going to complain. So he'll stop sooner or later. They're building too many places over there to burn trash. So sometimes it's just a matter of talking to somebody. Kevin Workman, 13A versus SRV, pros and cons. Okay. Well, the 13A, if you go through a divorce, this is the biggest one, and this is the one that's the most important. I really can't think of any others, but the 13A, if you go through a divorce, they can get you kicked out of the country. With the SRRV, you can stay here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So sometimes especially if you're a veteran, man, if you're a veteran, Kevin, it's really cheap. Just do the SRRV, and then there's no worries with the woman getting you kicked out. Okay, so just remember that. It's just a FYI. Francisco Fletes says, I just saw that the Regeneron monoclonal antibody treatment has been approved in the Philippines. That along with Merck's molnupiravir, which is the rising vaccination. With the rising vaccination rate, means this pandemic is ending. That's good. I think that treatment that you're talking about, my sister got that, because my sister and her husband got that, and she says it worked for her, so that's good. Wade76 is TRICARE an option for insurance instead of using Pacific Cross or PhilHealth? Wade, it is if you live near those hospitals. I don't know how many hospitals there are for TRICARE, because I'm not a TRICARE expert on that. But I had a guy over here that had TRICARE. Okay, let me just say this. Excuse me. If you live near one of those hospitals, then yes, definitely, because you can use your TRICARE at those places, but it's finding which hospitals there are. There's one near me not too far, okay, and if you have a car, you can go over there. And there's some other ones up in Manila, but I don't know where the third one. I heard of 3. There might be more. Don't misquote me or anything, but I heard of 3 at least. Okay, and you have to live in those places to do that, unfortunately. So when you come here, just move close to those places. The one near me, the good thing about it is it's not too far from here, and I'm kind of in the middle of everything. So you might think about moving south of Manila, okay, and just find out where it is. I know it's near me somewhere. It's really close. It's in Cavite. Okay, so just look that up. Let's see. Hey Kano says, hey bro, at Smokey. KM says, how do poor people afford such big karaoke machines? Seriously, it surprises me that it's not considered noise pollution. It actually is. And because of schooling with the modules right now, they've kind of banned that for certain times. You can't play karaoke during the day because the kids are doing their modules and stuff like that. So just FYI, yeah, it is considered noise pollution. But you know what they do is they buy used ones and they refurbish them and then put in new speakers and stuff like that, and they paint them, and then they just use them. They get them for almost nothing. See, Tom Pierce says, a week of rain and flooding in North Carolina, now hot and humid, feels like I am in the PI now. I'm sure it is. I heard it's really muggy down south. Let's see. I used to live in South Carolina, Tom. I lived there for 3 years, and I remember how muggy it was. Even in the fall, man. Even in the fall, even if it was cool, sometimes it was muggy. Let's see. Don Murphy, I'm coming your area when I can get in. I am retired and want to live there, and I can afford it. Thank God. Thanks for showing me your area. I only knew Cebu, and it's super expensive. Your info perfect. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. Yeah, Cebu's a little bit more expensive. Our area for housing, it's cheap, so you save a lot of money with the housing. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you that every part of Cebu is expensive, because that's just not true. But in our area, man, almost all the rentals, even in the gated communities, are fairly reasonable. Tagaytay is probably one of the more expensive areas, but I mean with good reason, because it's cooler there at night. But it is a little sticky and humid there still, even though it's cooler. Okay. Happy Days Relaxation. Good evening, Steve. How you doing? Happy Days. Let's see. Hillbilly in the Philippines says message retracted. So you must have took it off or something, or YouTube did or something, because we don't have a moderator. So Happy Days Relaxation. This is Tim Johnson, Steve. How you doing, Tim? Let's see. Hillbilly in the Philippines. They sail RVs now in the Philippines. They sell RVs. Yes, you can get RVs here. I don't see too many people driving them, but yeah, you can order them. I think even on Lazada. Check out Lazada. Lazada has a lot of stuff on it. I've seen RVs for sale. There's even a place in Manila I heard that sells RVs, but I haven't verified that or gone by. I'd actually like to go there just to see if they do. That'd be a great thing to do a video thing with, is travel around Luzon in a RV, and just move all around Luzon all the time. Jay Bailey says, thanks, Steve, for the information on the ongoing changes for SRRV. I'm getting everything in order so I can pull the trigger in January after a scheduled surgery. I'll owe you a coffee or a beer. Cheers. No, Jay, you don't owe me anything, man. We do this just to help people. Just pass it along to somebody else, If you need any help, just ask me for my number. I'll help you out. Let's see. Or I don't know if you got Mary Rose's information. If you asked me that already, I'm not sure, because I've handed it out to so many people. But it'd be good if you talk to her too, and talk to me, so you know what's going on. Because with this new stuff that's going on, there's a lot more to it than just getting papers together. Okay, I just want you to be aware of that. Francisco Fletes says, I get a $3,800 pension from the VA, and I run an online business based out of Florida. I can run that from anywhere in the world as a digital nomad. That's cool if you can do it. Let's see. Carl Graham says, how is it for girls to leave the country? I think you asked that earlier. Let's see. I think you're talking about the girls to leave, like on fiancé visas and stuff like that, and marriage visas, but they're still having, that's all backed up, if that's what you're asking about. I see. KM, how long do you think it would take to learn Tagalog if you focused a few hours a day on it? It'd be nice to know what people are saying about us. Well, I don't know, because I've been here 4 years, and I haven't even put in an effort to learn Tagalog, and I don't think I ever will. I lived in a town where it was hard enough for me to learn Spanish. So I said when I came here, I'm not going to learn Tagalog, even though I'm going to be here the rest of my life. But just FYI, So I don't know how long it would take. Tagalog is a tough language, I do know that. Tom Perrick, cannot seem to be able to comment with my iPhone, so I will just go back outside and work and listen to the show. Things are coming together. That's good, Tom. It's good to hear from you. Keep sending me those pictures, by the way, if you go traveling. And I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I think it was your mom that your mom just passed away, I believe. But I'm sorry to hear about that. Francisco Fletes, I live in PH. My business is in the U.S. and I keep my money and investments in Singapore and U.S. I got 2 citizenships and permanent residency in case Philippines doesn't work out, and I'll move to Mexico. Francisco, there's a lot of people going to Mexico, and it's actually working out, because there's several places down there, and there's a lot of good YouTubers down there, and a lot of really elderly people doing videos, like in their 80s and late 70s and stuff like that, and they're putting out great videos and great materials, kind of interesting. And they live down there for like $800. So that's amazing. Craig Jordan says, the Philippine Info Channel, thanks for explaining why roosters sometimes crow at night. Yeah, that's kind of like a fact of life. They get head injuries and stuff like that because usually most roosters will not crow at night. And somebody had told me that they have head injuries here, and that's why they do that. So every once in a while, you'll get a rooster it actually crows almost like it's got something wrong with it, and that's what it is. Hillbilly in the Philippines, new 2019 BT Cruiser 5255 Class C motorhome, Triton V10 City, Cebu State, Philippines. There we go. RC and Jax. Let's see. Morning, Steve. Greetings from Jacksonville. I watch a few different expat channels, but I appreciate yours the most. Too many of them just talk about how to get a Filipina. Thanks for what you do. Yeah, we try to stay off the Filipina stuff because I'll tell you why. I don't think it's fair to the Filipinas because I don't like the way that some of these guys talk about Filipina girls because I think they give them a bum rap. They really do. And they almost sell them off as like whores the way they show them on the show. And I think that's a disservice to the girls here because most of the girls are really decent girls. I mean, yeah, this scammers just like this bad expats. You know, they say 5 to 10% of the expats are bad. It's probably 5 to 10% of the Filipina girls might have issues too. So I mean, it's kind of balances things out. But yeah, I just don't like the way that they show that. So I just try to keep my show clean. We do talk about dating on occasion, or how to meet a girl, a decent girl. Something I've done a couple of videos, and I think there's no sense to really talk about how to meet a Filipina because it's fairly easy to meet a Filipino over here. They're the most friendliest people in the world, and I think that kind of leaves it open for us to date these girls easier because they are so kind and decent. So that's all I really have to say about Filipinas. I mean, I love Filipino girls here. They're very sweet and kind and nice, and I just tell people to look out for them, and you'll get back. If you look out for them, they'll look out for you. That's what I always tell people. But be careful. Be careful all the time. Eyes wide open, I say. Don Murphy, thumbs up, guys. It helps Steve, and he deserves it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Don. Happy days relaxation. Let's get those thumbs up, guys. Not only does it help promote Steve's channel, but it also puts a smile on the big guy's face. Thanks, guys. Yeah, today was a long day, actually. There was a lot of questions. We've been getting a lot of questions because of Filipina P did a thing about the SRRV, and a lot of people have been coming over to my channel to get some of that information because we've been doing it the longest. I mean, they acted like... I'm not trying to put down the Filipina P when I say this because it was mostly the people that were in the comments. They were saying, oh, great breaking news. But that's old. It's actually old news for you guys that have watched my channel because we were doing this when it was just a trial program, the SRRV thing that if you get the EED. So anybody that's followed me knows that we were the first ones to put that out. Actually, the PRA was the one that let me put it out. We got permission through Mary Rose to actually put out that information. So that was great information that we got that. But I mean, a lot of these. I want to talk a little bit about this for a second. Is that a lot of these agencies charge on top of the money that they're getting from the PRA, and I don't call it double dipping because it's legal, but it is kind of like double dipping. But the other thing is though, that on the flip side, they like the apostles and the police reports. These people are sent. I've had a couple people from down in Cebu that were using one of these agencies, and the agent says, look up the Philippine Info Channel, and he'll help you do the apostles, and he'll help you do, the police report and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, why are these people charging all this extra money if they're not going to be able to help you? Because if you're paying that much money for a service, you should get that. And we don't charge a nickel because Mary Rose gets her money from the PRA, and I don't charge a nickel. I just ask you to watch my videos. But I mean, I want to put that out there because I don't want to see anybody walk into an agency and say, hey, I want to do the SRRV. Contact me. It won't cost you all those extra fees for an agent because I'll get the agent. Mary Rose will help you. If we can help you, we'll help you. And I'll help you on the flip side totally free. I don't get any kickbacks from the PRA. I don't get any kickbacks from anybody. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Because I hear so much on that. People think I'm getting kickbacks, but I don't. Let's see. 111 people, 64 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. See, Justin in Arkansas says my bank lied when they said they sent money wired directly to Development Bank as Mary Rose instructed. Next day, I find my bank used Western Union, so it looks like money came from inside PH. Yeah, man, if your bank's doing stuff like that, you should that's wrong. That shouldn't even be happening. I don't know how that worked. I never heard of a bank using Western Union. That's kind of strange. But because Mary Rose says specifically not to use Western Union or any of those, they have to do a bank wire. That's weird, Justin. That's good to know though. I've never heard that one. That's the first time I've ever heard that one. Hey Kano says I posted already at Smokey. Let's see. Hey Kano, yes, Smokey Wednesday. I guess they're having a conversation. Let's see. Justin in Arkansas says Mary Rose said my EED is at the DOT for endorsement, so it looks like it's getting closer. The the DOT is actually picking up speed on this, Justin. So that's good news. That is very good news, man. You know, I hope that thing with the bank transfer works out for you, and you get you can do that correctly. Hopefully, you know. So, Hillbilly in the Philippines, TRICARE providers in the Philippines. There are two provider types in the Philippines: Philippine Preferred Provider Network and Provider Certified Providers. Yeah, Hillbilly. I'm really not up on the TRICARE thing that much. I don't know anything about that. I just know that this guy that I used to help, he had a hospital that he worked with not too far from me, and he told me there was something about 3 hospitals or something like that. So I don't even know what's going on. That was 2 years ago. So I know things are always changing with that because TRICARE is always changing, and some of the hospitals drop TRICARE. Some of them take other hospitals will start taking it. I know they had problems with them paying them on time or something like that. So some of the hospitals dropped it. So I don't know how many TRICARE places there are right now. I don't even know that much about it. I haven't looked into TRICARE for 2 years. So it's not something we really work with here because we work mostly with the SRRV and helping people move over here. You guys see all the videos that we do. It's not just about SRRVs, but I mean, TRICARE is not my specialty. So I apologize for that, though, that we don't know that much about it. Chris Taylor says, a woman scorn bad jealousy here in the Philippines. If you cheat here too much, it's all over. Emotions and murder are closely related. Yeah, if you piss off a woman over here, if you break off, make it easy. Don't make it hard. You know what I'm saying? Just break off and just say, hey, I just don't think this is working. And don't get her all fired up because you fire up one of these women here, some of them can get pretty nasty. Not all of them, but some of them can. Most of the girls here are pretty cool. But just be careful. Steele says, hey, Justin, how long is it taking to get EED? The EED's been getting faster and faster, Steele. I'm not sure. I've heard like as little as 4 weeks, but don't quote me, okay? It's getting faster. There is no real fixed number, okay? Because it moves up and down. Depends on how busy they are. Craig Jordan, Shanoy, good morning. But Mary Rose says it has speeded up. Okay. Red Ranger just got here. Had to wash my car. It's 9:50 a.m. in Texas time here. How much longer are you gonna be chatting? We probably have maybe another 25. Let's see, 35 minutes probably. All right. Let's see. Hillbilly in the Philippines. If you live or travel in the Philippines, you must see a PPN provider or a certified provider for your medical care. PPN providers if you're enrolled. TRICARE Overseas Program, TOP. All right, well, that helps out answer his question, hopefully. Yeah, I just don't know enough about that to really, because I don't use that. I don't have TRICARE because I didn't retire from the military, but I was in the military. Steel RV, your girl can't take you home. Yeah, there you go. If you live in an RV, they can't take you home. That's cool. Let's see. Hillbilly in the Philippines. Out-of-pocket costs are lower when you use a PPN provider. If you see a PPN provider, you'll fill it out with an agreement to pay the applicable cost shares and deductibles. PPN provider or certified provider. I heard something about that. So it probably works a little bit like the foreign medical plan for disabled American vets. So it probably works similar to that, but it's different. Like an insurance or whatever. Justin in Arkansas says Steel O started EED the day Steve said the trial program started several months ago. Yeah, some of the batches were slower than others. Some of them are pretty fast. Some of the batches people are already getting in here. So there you go. Hillbilly in the Philippines to find a PPM provider or certified provider in the Philippines. Updated 7/6/2021. John Allen, Steve, it is pronounced Tagalog, not Tagalog. Tagalog. Okay. I call it, I'm from Boston, man. Come on. We say ka, we say licka, chowda. So that's the way I say it. It is what it is. This is a Boston guy talking. I get people correcting me a lot on some words that I say, and Tagalog is one of them, because I'm going to keep on calling it Tagalog no matter what. That's just the Boston in me. Chinoy, good morning, Craig Jordan. France Xavier says, hello from Switzerland. How you doing, France? Good to see you on here tonight. Paul Rogers, hi, Steve. Try as I may, I cannot find any real estate for sale in Camp John Hay. Any suggestions on a realtor who can help find properties that would be for sale located in Camp John Hay? Regards, Paul. I don't have any real estate agents for up there. I mean, you might want to look on. I would say look on Facebook, because I find realtors on there to rent, do vacation rentals all the time, and there's a lot of people that sell real estate on there. Just type in Camp John Hay real estate in the marketplace on there and see what you get. That's my recommendation anyway. See what happens. It can't hurt. Justin in Arkansas says, my biggest hurdle for SRRV was getting a notary public to a busy doctor. Doc did not want to take time or show ID to notary with an attitude. Wow. Well, yeah, okay, Justin? I think you're talking about getting the notary, so you could do the apostille later. I think that's what you're talking about. Because I'm not sure about the notary. I don't know. That document that you're talking about, I'm not that familiar with that, because that's new. That's something that Mary Rose usually deals with on the other side. But I think you're talking about the signature, getting the signature notarized, and then having to get it apostilled later. I think that's what you're talking about anyway. Willie White says, what is the difference of apostille and codicil? I don't know. I'm not sure. Apostille is not spelled the way it's like a French word. It's APPOSTILLE. Okay, so just FYI. I just lost all the messages here. Hold on a second. Okay, we're back. Let's see. Okay, give me 1 second here, guys. Justin in Arkansas, what bank was that? So we can avoid using that bank. Exactly, Michael. Man, that's who would use what bank would use Western Union? That's terrible. Roy Jones, what do you think of BGC and cost of living? BGC is a great place if you got money. It's a great area to live in. There's a lot of people moving there, and there's a lot of expats moving to that area. I mean, it's a beautiful little area. There's a lot of American restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants there. It's a beautiful little area. I've had a lot of people talk to me about that area. In fact, I want to go up there and do a video of that pretty soon. And maybe in this coming week, I'm hoping maybe I can get up to that area. And that might be the place I go to Monday. So be looking forward to something from that mall, okay? Because I want to do something up there. The only thing I'm afraid of is that there's music playing outside. So we'll see. Let's see. Michael says, Steve, the prettier the Philippine, the fearsome is their wrath, as the tens have the illusion of entitlement. I think you're right, Michael. I tell people, find a decent girl. Looks isn't everything, because you know what? If you can't have a conversation with your girlfriend and she has no brains, but she's beautiful as hell, what good is she? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of beautiful women here that have a good, solid mind too. But I mean, get a little bit of both. I'll take a 6 or a 7 or a 8. You know, like if you know, rather than a 10, if she's smart. You know, I've met some really sweet women over here that are very, very sweet. You know, I mean, and they would make a good wife. My girlfriend, you know, she's tough as nails. Don't get me wrong, but you know what? She looks out for me, 100%. And she, you know, she's a 10 to me. That's all that matters. You know, she's a 10 to me. You know, somebody else might say, well, you know, well, Steve, she might not be the prettiest girl, but she's a 10 to me because of her personality. You know, and she looks out for me, and you know, that's one thing I can honestly say. And I always said that, you know, there's a lot to be said for a decent person versus looks. Anybody can have looks, and looks don't always. I've been with a lot of women that were beautiful women, but they were tough to be around all day long. You know. Crypto Boogie says, "Hi Steve, wanting to come to the Philippines when they open back up. Question: Can I come over on with just my passport and extend my stay a few times while working on my visa there?" Well, I mean, it depends on what, you know. Like, you plan on doing an SRR visa? That's not an easy question to answer because you didn't really tell me what kind of visa you're looking for. But if you're looking to do the SRR visa, when you come here, you would get your visa fairly quick. If you ever want to talk about that, just, you know, you can contact me at steven5975@yahoo.com, and you can ask me for my phone number, and I'll give you my phone number if you want to talk to me. It's a U.S. phone number. You can call me over here. We can chat for a few minutes, and I'll answer that question. But you didn't give me enough information in there. Let me see. Justin in Arkansas, my bank is a local Arkansas bank, and the teller is Filipino. After the error, the manager said all international wires are sent through Western Union. So specifically ask if Western Union is involved. Yeah, that's good to know, man. I'd never heard that. That's a first. That's actually kind of scary. Willie White says, "Don't feel bad. We have our accents." Yes, we do. Southerners are a little bit deeper. I actually like my Boston accent because people know where I'm from as soon as I talk most of the times. You know, all I have to do is say "ka," "licka," go to the "packy," you know, things like that. People know where you're from. You know. Timothy Certain, can you exchange $100 bills but not newer ones? You know something? If the bill is even slightly tattered, they won't even take it over here. So be careful of that. The older bills, they probably won't take them. So be careful. You know, Justin in Arkansas says, yes, medical certificate had to be notarized by doctors, so it could be then apostle. Okay, all right, that explains it. Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, is he thinking that the notary is good enough as an apostle? Because that's what was confusing me. I know that most things, any signatures have to be notarized, then apostle, because they just won't accept the signatures in most cases. RLV says, hail Boston, Celtics since 1979. Let's see, Brooke Schneider says, Steve-O, nothing more important than your health. We'll make time for the gym when I get there, and we'll work that place over real hard. There we go, Brooke. You know, it'd be good to have somebody. Actually, you know, by the time you get here, we're gonna have 2 other guys here too, probably, or at least 1, and possibly as many as 10 coming on the way. So we'll fill that gym up. You know, maybe we can get something going there. Get some old guy yoga or something. You know, something going on. You know, anything. Because I need to jump on there, you know. I need to get back there. I go walking every day, as you guys know. I do 10,000 steps probably every day. But that's not enough. So, Crypto Boogie says, message retracted. Let's see. Zinsley1 says, might just be easier to get the medical done in the Philippines. Zinsley, when you do the medical in the States, okay, Mary Rose told me, just get everything done over there, and then, you know, you don't have to really get it apostilled, apparently. You can just, when you get here, you can just do the medical here, okay, and then you just pay the $50. But I think they want that stuff started there, and what they'll do is they'll just take most of those documents off you. They still charge $50 because they charge $50 for the certificate when you get over here. But Mary Rose will pick those up at the quarantine hotel that you're at, probably, and then she'll hand them over to the medical, and they'll probably give them to you if you have all the stuff. They'll look it over, and then they'll just give the certificate. So the apostle might not be needed, but run that by Mary Rose. That's what she told me the other day. She says that the apostle is really not necessary, but getting the stuff is necessary. Okay, but she says if you get the apostle, it's that much easier. So just FYI on that. I just want to make that clear. Jack Be Nimble, Justin Portable Notary, have them meet at doctors. Let's see. Hillbilly in the Philippines. Wade 76, you're welcome. Always try to help a fellow vet. Crypto Boogie says, I'm medically retired from the Army wanting to get SRV visa. However, I'm not 50. I'm only 39. I heard in order to get that visa, you have to be 50 years old. Yes. Yeah, they got rid of the old one, okay? Crypto Boogie. You'll be able to get in here on the tourist visa probably within the next year. Less than a year, trust me. It'll reopen. And then just get a 13A visa and then get the SRV visa later or something. Get married or whatever. Let's see. Michael Schlo... I can't even pronounce that. Schjolberg. Okay, I'll just say Michael. Once in the Philippines for SRV, what leg work is required? Will I have to visit the PRA office? You may have to, but I'm hearing from Mary Rose that everything, it's pretty quick. You probably have to go to the PRA office. You might have to run out to do your medical. You might have to come fill out some papers or something like that. But what they do is Mary Rose picks up all your documents, I guess, at the quarantine hotel, and then she takes off with all that stuff and starts getting everything processed. And she tells me to stick around for 2 days after the quarantine hotel, Michael, for other things that she may need you to do. But she might only need you for like 1 day or something, just to talk to you or something like that. Or you might have to run and redo a medical thing or something like that. Other than that, there's not that much to do. You might have to visit a bank or whatever. It depends on what she has for you, because each individual is different. So I can't really tell you, what's required. But most of that stuff is going to be taken care of because you're doing most of it in the States. And if you get everything apostilled, including your medical, you should be that much closer to being done. And you probably might only need 1 day or something like that to get your stuff done. Just like I said, each person is different. But she said, try to have 2 days. Okay, so that's a given. Craig Jordan says, the Philippine Info Channel, Steve, what is the Packy? It's a package store, a liquor store. So, you're trying to get me to talk Boston. I know you are. See, Michael says, get fresh, clean, and crisp bills from your bank. Yes. Before you go to the Philippines and use them for the currency exchange. Fortunately, more places in the Philippines accept credit cards. Yay. CC rewards. Actually, you mentioned that, Michael. Let me get back on that again. If you got a Citibank card, it's the best bank in the Philippines at some restaurants because they give you 50% off on certain days. Okay, especially at the Conrad building, but all over. Also, even Kenny Rogers gives discounts on certain days. Sometimes 10, 20, 30% or something like that. Roy Jones, do the bills need to be new like in food markets and sari stores? They don't take American money. You have to have in sari stores and food markets. You have to have pesos, so you have to switch it all over. Scholberg. Okay, yeah, with that J in there, man, that throws me off. Okay, thanks, Michael. See, Dark Stallion says, is any part of Tracy Martirez subject to flooding? No. Not that I know of. I've never seen it flood here at all. It's 423 feet up in the air where I am. Okay, and I'm at the bottom of the hill where I'm at, and then it drops down into a canyon. So, I mean, that canyon takes away any flooding. All the water goes down into that canyon, and there's a stream at the bottom. But no flooding here at all. That's one good thing about Tracy. That's why I tell people about Tracy Martirez. Let's see. Dark Stallion says, do you know anything about Silang, Cavite? That's not a bad area. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not an area that I go to. I'm not that familiar with it, but I don't know if it has a flood zone or not. I'm not sure. I really couldn't say that much about it because it's not a place I hang out at or go there. I've been there, but just to drive through it, and that's it. Willie White, where do you park your car? I don't park a car because I don't have a car. So I don't. I use all public transportation over here. Let's see. Zinslee1 says, do you get to choose your quarantine hotel? Yes, you do. And choose that wisely because some allow food delivery and some don't. Okay? And it says, does Mary Rose come to different towns? Um, I think Mary Rose is telling people to try to stick around the Citibank building if she's going to come pick up your stuff or whatever. So I wouldn't go too far away. I wouldn't, I'd stay in a halfway decent place. Mary Rose she just came over here from Europe, okay? Because her husband is from Europe, okay? And she had to use a quarantine hotel, and she recommends one if you ask her. Okay, so if you're using Mary Rose right now, just ask her which one. She'll tell you. Okay, if you're using her as the person, just ask her, say which one, because she recommended a place. She says it was an older place, but it was good. So something to think about. Justin in Arkansas, and she's pretty picky too. So Justin in Arkansas says, Steve, your last week live stream, I learned that I had to buy plane tickets before going to Houston consulate for 9A visa. And no, that's actually, I heard differently now on that. Okay, let's see, and to fly into Manila instead of Cebu as I had planned. Oh, okay, wait a second. Maybe I made a mistake. What you said, Steve, maybe I misread it. Let's see, Steve, your last week live stream, I learned that I had to buy plane tickets before going to Houston consulate for 9A visa. You can buy it before or after. Now I'm hearing, okay, to fly into Manila instead of Cebu. As I had planned. Thanks for the info. Okay. Yeah, you can buy it after, I heard now. One of the guys that was coming from Thailand, he says he was told to buy, when he talked to the consulate, they told him to buy it after. Okay, so that's what he's doing now. So you can buy it before or after, I guess. But I guess the consulate in Thailand was telling people buy it after. So ask the consulate about that now. That's what they're saying. RLV just dined, and actually I think even the airlines are telling you they have to have the 9A first before you can even buy the ticket. Somebody was just saying, but I don't know if that's true. Things change like every day. But that's what Mary Rose told me. She says that you buy the ticket before you get the 9A visa. That's what she told me. So I'm going off what she told me. But I guess the consulate told them different. But like I said, that's in Bangkok. Okay, so that was different. So, but I think in the U.S., I think you can buy it beforehand, but check with them. Any of you guys, new guys, check with them first, okay? RLV just dined here at Texas Roadhouse, BGC. Let's see, 2,500 pesos, $50 for four people with takeaway. Things are picking up here in Taguig. I'll probably be up there soon, man. I'll be up there maybe Monday. I went to Red Lobster today, and they're closing down permanently at Mall of Asia, guys. Surrey case, would anyone continue to avoid vaccination if they were to lose their job over? I'm debating what to do here in Canada. I actually had a friend that's going through that. He ended up getting the vaccination. He's not too happy about it. I can't say I don't blame him, but I got my vaccination. I'm not too happy about it either. Jack Iceman, hey, not just get Philippine pesos from your American bank before you arrive in the PI. Yeah, you can get Philippine pesos from your bank. Yeah, they'll do it, but you can't. You can only carry $10,000 worth of cash with you at any given time. So be careful, guys. Tom Pear, get some old guy yoga going. I just had to come inside and tell you I laughed so hard I dropped my wrench. Laughter helps. That's what Mom said before she left us. Good picks coming. Thanks, Tom. I'm glad I made you laugh. I thought you guys would love that one. Can you imagine us guys doing yoga? I actually used to do Bikram yoga, that hot yoga, man. And I tried it every New Year's Eve. They gave like a free yoga. And that was the only time I did yoga, was once a year. And I used to go in on New Year's Eve. And it actually made me feel good. I tried it. I did it like for about 3 years in a row like that because it was free on that night. And I enjoyed it. But I don't think I could do that every day, man. No way in hell. Commander Dan says, Sir Steve, what are quarantine hotel names near the PRA office? I'm not sure. They'll give you I'm sure you can get a list of them or whatever. Useful to know for pre-book. I'm not. I don't know because I haven't flown in and out. I know that the Conrad is one of them. And there's a bunch of other ones, but the Conrad's not near the PRA office at the Citibank building. Okay. See, Wong Hung Lo says, "Can I park my car in a garage near the bar?" Yeah. Let's see. Smoky Mountain Marla says, "Does it make sense to convert dollars into pesos before leaving the States? I found a company that gives a good exchange rate. I'm talking about 2 to 3 thousand. Yeah, it's might be worth it. You know, I took some pesos over here. It was good to have like a few bucks when I got here. You know, because when you get here, you're gonna need money. You're gonna need to be buying things and stuff like that. You know, after that, you know, you can only take 500 out each day from most banks here, and you have to take out 200 at a time, 200 and 200 and 100. That's the way most of the banks work here. Some ATMs will allow different, but most of them, that's what they allow here. But yeah, 2 to 3 thousand might be worth it but unless you think you're buying a lot of stuff, take more than that if you can get it. You know, that's what I say. Take some U.S. dollars too. I did. I exchanged them here when I got here. Just be careful when you're coming out of the airport, especially if you're coming in the middle of the night or something like that. Be careful. Make sure you have somebody to pick you up there or something. You know. I tell people if in a bad situation, you know, you need somebody to meet you up there, I'll be glad to meet you up there or something like that. If you need me, you just pay for my ride up there or whatever, and I can meet you. But it's best to have somebody meet you at that airport, I'm telling you, especially in the middle of the night. Okay, it's pretty safe around there, but just be careful. Craig Jordan, the Philippine Info Channel. Steve, we do not have a Packy here in California, only a liquor store. Yes, it can be funny when you talk Boston. Just having fun, no harm intended. Okay, Craig, thanks, man. Katrina Cop, thanks for sharing. Cost for U.S. military. Let's see. Thanks for sharing. Cost for U.S. military retiree SRRV. It's about 3,200 with all the apostles and stuff like that, give or take $100 or so. Okay, right around there. It's $1,400 for the application fee, $1,500 for the security deposit, and then you're talking about your medical stuff could cost you in the U.S. probably about $250 if you're going to do it the way it is now. Might be a little bit more than that. Maybe about 3,300, 3,400 with all the fees and stuff like that, tops. And if you tip Mary Rose, maybe another 100 or 200 depending on what you're going to tip her. If you want to tip her, you don't have to tip her. I mean, I'm just saying, it's, you know, she does not charge the fees that all these other agents charge. She gets paid by the PRA. You don't have to give her a nickel. Okay, but I tell people to at least give her a tip because the other agencies are charging 500, 1,000, all the way up to 2,000 bucks at some places. Okay, so just be careful. Don't use other agents. There's one thing I can save you money on. This is what I can save you money on the most. If you guys are going to use the SRRV, I can save you a ton of money on that. I can tell you that right now. Let's see. Willie White says airlines are subject to fines if the right paperwork for travel is not checked for travel. Yes. Michael L says some banks in the States will get you on the exchange rates. Currency exchange in the Philippines will have better rates closer to the actual exchange rate. Yes, you're right. But there are some banks that are pretty reasonable in the States. I got pretty lucky. Craig Jordan, it is best to get the PH pesos when you arrive in the country at the airport. You have cash on hand for rides. Yes. You definitely need to have some money for rides and stuff like that. And guys, make sure they put the meters on the taxi when you leave the taxi. If the guy won't put the meter on, tell him to pull over and get out of the car and find another taxi. Because those guys are a bunch of rip-off artists in there. And I had a guy today try to pull that stunt on me, and I told him, well, you know, he told me 150 to drive there. I says, no. He says, put on the damn meter. He says, all right, 100 to go there. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's probably about right. So, all right, I'll do it for 100, you know. Because I know last time when they had the meter on, it was like 130. So I actually saved a few pesos. But I think he screwed himself. But anyway, Joe 01. Hi, Steve. Just noticed you're on. No problem, man. We'll be on for a few more minutes. We're almost actually ready to wrap this up pretty soon. Chinoy says, got to go, guys. Bye, Steve. Craig. Bye, Steve, Craig, and to you all. Have a nice weekend. Thanks, Chinoy. Craig Jordan. Take care. says, take care, Chinoy. Moshira Mitano says, SRV Classic requires me to deposit 20,000. Yes, it does. Into the active investments such as the purchase of a condominium unit or long-term lease. I'm not at the age to collect retirement income. Well, you have to put it into the account first, Moshira, okay? And then you can do all that stuff. All right? And when you do an investment like a condominium, don't forget the SRRV has their name on there or something, because it is there is some sort of stipulation on the deed when you get a deed for a condo or whatever, or a long-term lease. Okay, I just want you guys, like a long-term lease for a property with a house, like a house and lot. So just be aware of that. So when you pass away, your family has to get that removed. Okay, Mary Rose just talked to me about that the other day. I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. There's a lot to that. I tell people, if you're doing the military visa, though, just leave it in there. It's $1,500, man. It's nothing. You know, even if you left it there and it just went back to the bank, it's $1,500. But you can, fill out a will and leave it to your girlfriend or whatever. She can get it as long as the will. She just has to walk in there and do some paperwork, and it's hers. Chinoy says, hey, Craig, where are you in California? I'm in Los Angeles, Monterey Park, actually. Joe Davis says, hope all is well. Steve found a wallet here in Myrtle, located the owner, and he and his wife were totally shocked when realizing that $365 was intact. That's awesome, man. I found a phone the other day, and I made a big mistake. My girlfriend got up in a tricycle. I was in a trike, and there was a phone underneath it, so I thought it was her phone. It looked like the same size, so I picked it up and I put it in my pocket. I was going to play a prank on her. Well, anyway, when I get up, I was teasing her something about, you missing something? You get your phone and everything. I was waiting for her to say something, right? And she said, yeah, I got everything. And then I was like, oh, so this isn't yours? And she goes, no, but the trike driver was still there. I says, is this yours? And he's like, yeah. And then my girlfriend says, no, that wasn't his. He took that. We should have kept it, because we could have tried to call the person. So the guy probably stole the phone, unfortunately. You think you're doing the right thing sometimes, and it happened too quick. My head wasn't like really about me at the time, because I was really tired. So I handed him the phone, but I know that phone's not going back to the owner, unfortunately. Willie White, do you take a car to the park when you go, and where would you park it? You guys are trying to give me tongue twisters tonight. Let's see. Smoky Mountain Modeler, you too, Chinoy. Dark Stallion, arrive with US dollars. There is a limit to how many Philippine pesos you can bring in. It's a much, much smaller amount than US dollars. Yeah, check into that, guys, because I think you're right, Dark Stallion. I'm not sure how much. Maybe it's 5,000. Maybe it is. Maybe you can bring in 10,000. I don't know. But I know that there's somewhat of a limit, but I'm not sure what it is. At least I think there is. I think I read that somewhere. I think you could be correct on that. Let's see. Katrina Cobb says, I like what you said about the 13A and divorce, but $3,400 for SRV, I'm thinking 13A. Yeah, I mean, if you go through a divorce, maybe it's worth going home. But just find the right person. Make sure it's right for you. Don't just jump in. Fools jump in where angels fear to tread. That's what I say. Mike, get the Grab app and use Grab, and it'll give you a fixed rate before you get in the car. Actually, yeah, Grab's really good. I've talked about that before. I did a video on that way back. Grab's excellent, man. Actually, a lot of the taxis use Grab too. And if you use Grab, you can get the price. So when you walk up to a taxi, you can say, listen, this is what Grab is charging. Will you charge me the same to drive me over to this place? Most of the taxis will say, yeah, but don't pay him till you get there. Okay? And if he tries to rook you out of more, then just give him that. Say, listen, this is what we agreed upon. So don't, because they're supposed to have their meters on. They're not going to call a cop on you or play any of that game. So, but just be careful. The taxi cab drivers around there can be kind of brutal with trying to scam you out of money, though. I'd say about maybe 25% of the taxi cab drivers try to pull some stunt, sometimes 30%. Let's see, Grab is much better than taxi in Manila. Yes, it is. But I've been pretty lucky with taxis around MOA, in the nicer areas of the city. I've been very, very lucky with some of these drivers, and some of them will drive me all the way home for 1,200 pesos from Manila all the way back to Tracy Martirez for 1,200. I usually give them 15, but some guys will quote me about 1,200 or whatever. That's a really, really good deal. Let's see, we got 103 people, 79 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Paul Osborne says, "Hey, Steve, if I came to the PH and developed a chronic medical problem, how much cost for me to hire a registered nurse to live with me 24/7? I would, of course, pay for her room, and her food." If you developed a chronic medical problem and you spoke with a nurse, and you'd probably have to pay taxes on her and stuff like that, or whatever. You'd probably have to do it legally. I think you could probably do it for like about, you know, $800, 600 bucks, somewhere around there. Because in the hospitals, they're not even paying them 500 for the month. But you're talking about a live-in nurse. So yeah, I would say probably about 800 if she was living and you were paying for her room and food and stuff like that. You'd probably have to give her time off and stuff like that, and say, you work these hours or whatever, and just keep checking up on me here and there, and give her time. If she has a family or something like that, that might be a good setup for somebody. If you're paying for the home that she's living in, and like, $100 for a place or something like that, nice place. If you were all alone or whatever, man, that might be a good thing. K Fox, Steve, you mentioned the opening and easing in the Philippines. You're not scared of infections? Well, what I was talking about is this, K Fox, is that I noticed that there's like a different feeling here. And am I scared of infections? I mean, I took the vaccine. My sister got sick even after she took the vaccine. So did her husband. And I'll tell you, I'm not really afraid of infections because I take vitamin D3 and stuff like that, and vitamin C. I rarely ever get sick. Okay, I'm pretty healthy as far as that goes. Charlie Tusa says, "Park the car in the Harvard yard." There we go. James Corlo, great info as normal. Got to go. All right, thanks, James. Thanks for joining us. We're going to head off here in about 5 minutes anyway, but I'll finish answering a few more. See, RLV, don't go to BGC High Street on Monday. Staff will be cranky. Go weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's see, don't go to BGC. I'll be there Monday probably if I do go, but I'm not sure that's where I'm going to go. We'll find out. Be watching for the video that I put out tomorrow, guys, with Mall of Asia. Watch that. There's some good footage along the boardwalk there. It's really a nice place, and I think when that place opens up, that's going to be really nice down there. Okay, so I just want to. Hopefully, there's nothing. There's a little bit of music on there. Hopefully, they don't pull hit me for copyright or something like that, because there was a little bit of music on there, and sometimes that forces me to take things down. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to put it up though tomorrow, and hopefully nobody tags it for something. See, Craig Jordan says some of us are trying to get Steve to do tricks. Let's see. Zinsley one says, how much are you charge each time you withdraw 200 from the ATM there? Well, I mean, they have the fees on each machine, okay? I don't know what it is because I really don't pay much attention to that. At BDO Bank, I mean, they don't charge you fees. But I mean, like my Metro Credit Union card, they refund all that money. So at the end of the month, sometimes I get like $80 back and stuff like that. But I don't know what the fee is per charge and stuff like that. But they refund all my charges at the end of the month at Metropolitan Credit Union. So it's really, really good. But each machine's different. So I don't know. I don't want to quote a price. I'm not really even sure roughly what it is. It's not that expensive. It's cheap. Smoky Mountain Marlowe says, I just checked out how many pesos you can import. It's 50,000 pesos. All right, so it's 50,000 pesos. What's that? Like $1,000. It's about $1,000. So that's the limit. Yeah, so you can take $1,000, 1,000 pesos in here. You know what? I think I might have taken more than that, to be honest with you. But maybe they just didn't catch me. I think I had more than 1,000 pesos on me. I'm almost sure I did. Maybe I got lucky. Craig Jordan, Smoky Mountain model, money exchange fees are high here in U.S. banks, correct? Some of them are. It varies from bank to bank, and at some of these places that do it, you can walk into some of the malls and there's places that'll exchange the money. Some are expensive. I tell people, if you want to do the exchange, pull it out of an ATM, man. It does everything for you. And like I said, most of those fees get refunded back if you have the right bank card. You know, if your bank does that, some do, some don't. Credit unions are really good for stuff like that. Let's see. Justin in Arkansas need to prepay the annual SRRV fee. So on the classic SRRV, $1,400 application fee is $1,760 total wire to land bank. Okay, so that's where people. All right, because somebody asked me the other day about, Steve, is the application fee $1,400? All right, Justin, I got you. Somebody asked me the other day, and I said somebody's ripping you off. So the application fee is not the total application fee. They're asking for the first year to prepay the first annual SRRV fee. I got you now. All right. That's why, because when somebody told me it's $1,760, I said no, it's not $1,760. It's $1,400 for the application fee. But yeah, that's something different because you're paying it up front. Most of the people I've actually dealt with have been doing the military visa. So for us, it's like $10. So it's not even. It's barely anything. And if you go out of the country, guys, I talked to Mary Rose about this. If you go out of the country, and let's say you go out of the country for 4 or 5 years, and your money is still sitting back here, what you do is when you come back, you just pay up all the past fees, and then just get your card reinstated. Okay, so you can leave the country for as long as you want, or you can have them mail it to you, in the U.S. by DHL or something like that. So just a FYI. But I tell people, don't fall behind on stuff like that. It's not a good habit. Eric Bone says, how are you finding visiting Manila with the vaccine card? It's becoming stricter. My girls ask all the time about the vaccine card at restaurants. Yes, I had to show my vaccine card at the restaurant. I actually forgot it, and my girlfriend took a picture and sent it to me, so then they let me in. The people there know me anyway, so they know I have a card for the most part, but this lady didn't. It was a new girl there. They actually got rid of most of the girls at the place that I go to. There's only two waitresses that work at Red Lobster now. Only two, and only one per day. So that's how bad it's getting. So let's see. But they have a manager there, but she kind of works to fill in to help out if it gets too busy, but it's not too busy. See, Craig Jordan, Smoky Mountain model. I have found that the arriving airport in the Philippines is the best quick fix. Katrina Kopp says, really want to thank you for all the good information today and all the other videos. We arrive in Manila August 2022. Come hella high water. No more waiting for the malady to end. I agree. Hopefully we get over this. So we got 98 people on here, 85 thumbs up. Let's see, I can stay on another 5 minutes. I'll answer a few more. James Edwards says, if you got to worry about ATM fees, I wouldn't be going to the Philippines. I kind of feel the same way, James. I never worry about ATM fees. Some people, they're really hot on the ATM fees. If you have to worry about ATM fees, then you probably shouldn't be coming here if you're penny pinching, because that's why I say that sweet spot, man, 2,000 to 3,000 is the perfect place to be, and I'm sure you'd agree with me. You can live on less than that, but you'll start worrying about ATM fees. So, Smoky Mountain Model says, that's probably the way I'll do it at Craig Jordan. Let's see. Willie White says, I'm just curious that when he goes to here we go, to the park, if he uses a car where would he park his, I don't know, I can't even, let's see. J.M. Ramiro says, I need to know when will you open the gates to the Philippines, bro? Man, I'd open the gates right now if I could. I'd even open the gates of hell, if I could do it, Let's see, Road to the Philippines. Hey there, Steve. My first time catching you live, saying hello from Pleasant Hill, Missouri. Welcome aboard, man. You're just coming at the tail end. We're just getting ready to go off in a couple of seconds here. But join us next week at 10 p.m. Manila time, okay? We'd be glad to have you on here. Actually, we look forward to having people on here. Justin in Arkansas says, I was in the Navy but cannot do the courtesy visa because of no pension. Okay. I have to do the 20K deposit. So 360 annual fee versus $10 annual fee. Yes, unfortunately. Justin, just to give you a FYI on that, I want to get you correct on this here, okay? I don't know if we talked about this before. It seems like we may have in the past, but you can switch over to the courtesy visa later on when you start getting a pension, okay? And you can get all that money back, okay? You just have to leave the 1,500 in there. Just talk to Mary Rose about that, okay? And she'll tell you the same thing as what I just said, okay? So you can switch over later. Eric Bones says hospitality is being destroyed in the Philippines. God bless the Filipinos as they just get on with it. Feel so sorry for them. Smoky Mountain Model says, have a good week, Steve. You too, Smoky Mountain Model. I'm going to let you guys go. We've just reached the end of the string here. It's a good time to end, guys. I just want to say God bless, guys, and take care. And be sure to be looking for that video. Hopefully I won't get flagged on it or anything like that, okay? So I just want to let you guys know because there is a bit of music in there. Otherwise, I'll have to take it down if it's flagged. But I have two pieces to the video, so one of them will surely be on there, okay? And I'm also going to do a little bit of a story about the Red Lobster probably too. And I get some other stuff coming up. But Monday, we got some good stuff coming on too. I'm hoping I can get to BGC on Monday, and hopefully I can have that video up probably this week too. Hopefully there's no music playing in the background because then it makes it kind of difficult to do the video because the copyright protections and all that stuff. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys, and be sure to be on here next week, guys. We had a great show tonight. I'm really happy about this because we had a great bunch on here, and you guys always are the best on here. Thanks, guys. God bless. Take care.